सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So Arjuna, who represents the most conscientious, righteous, duty-bound human being, was facing a crisis in the battlefield of Mahabharata war because of his attachment, raga, to his people, mainly his grandfather and his guru. This raga had made him totally incapacitated because of the shoka it caused in him. And the shoka led to moha, which is confusion and delusion about his duty as a Kshatriya in that present moment. Arjuna was very well versed with Dharma Shastra, but in this moment of crisis, he starts misinterpreting the knowledge he had. He had an emotional breakdown. An emotional breakdown always overpowers the intellect and the wisdom it has gained over the years. And that causes so much of suffering in a person. But this suffering which a person experiences can be a great teacher if we don't succumb to it by self-pity, having self-pity on us, So Arjuna experienced this suffering, and because of this suffering which he experienced, he surrendered to Bhagavan Krishna and asked him to show him a way by which he could get rid of the shoka for good. And shoka can only go for good only by Brahma Vidya. Because any other way belongs to samsara, whereby the person is always trying to distract his mind, keeping himself occupied in some activity or the other, or he's constantly trying to think positive. But positive thinking he's trying to do because there's negative thinking happening in the mind. A jiva does positive thinking. Proper thinking is happening in the mind of a person who knows I am Brahman. This mind, this extremely subtle and dynamic instrument, it keeps running all the time into past, present and future. When it thinks of the past, helplessly it thinks of the past, all that is over, the person gets depressed. When it thinks of the present problems, the person gets stressed. And when he thinks of the future problem, he becomes anxious. So, and if the person is identified with all this thinking, he is stuck in samsara. And the only way to get out of this samsara is Brahma Vidya, which tells us who we are and how we are supposed to handle this body, mind, sense equipment which we are wearing. This is not a joke, this equipment which we are wearing. Both death and immortality are found in this human body itself. If we pursue delusion, we will get death. And if we pursue the truth, we are going to get immortality. It's right here. It depends on us. So the only way here was to surrender to Bhagavan. Arjuna surrenders, and Bhagavan gives him Brahma Vidya, because only Brahma Vidya can solve this problem. The self-realization process is not of pravritti, it is a process of nivritti. That is why Bhagavad Gita is called Shok Nivritti Shastra. We cannot, by pravritti is karma. By karma, there is no way that the sorrow can go always. Whatever karma does, we will get temporary solution for that. Never a permanent solution for sorrow. We are only worried about sorrow here in spirituality. And jnana, gives us a permanent solution by nivritti. Nivritti is we are negating what we are not to reach what we are. Pravritti, always running to do karma here. That's not going to solve the problem. You can do it till a certain stage of life because you don't know anything about life. But having experienced that there is nothing, it's like peeling an onion, you go on peeling, there's nothing inside. So this life has got nothing. For that, how do people know? Young people don't know, they have to experience that to know. Or from previous janma, some people have got those vasanas, they come very early, they know everything here, But most of the people, even in their late stage, they haven't understood, they're still chasing this world, Jnana can remove the timir drishti. Timir means cataract. Cataract blurs a person's vision. And ajnana is compared to timir, by cataract. Unlike blindness, which cannot be cured, timir can be cured and the vision can be restored. A very famous stotra called the Guru Stotra. There is one as Guru Paduka Stotra and one is Guru Stotra. Very, very famous stotras in Vedanta, Guru Paduka is Guru's footwear. We pray to that, And the other is Guru Stotra. So one of the verses of Guru Stotra says, Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurum militam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. My prostrations, my namaskara to my Guru who removed the timir from my drishti. Ajnana timirandhasya. I was blinded, andhasya, by the timir of ajnana. And what did he do? Jnananjana shalakaya. He put the medicine of jnana in my eyes, by which chakshurum anmilitam yena. My vision became cleared. I could see clearly after that. Tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. There can be nothing bigger than this to change the knowledge about myself, to change this perception. See how difficult it is to change one notion in a person? It is so deeply ingrained, and this is the deepest notion we all have, that we are a jiva. And if a guru can change that, then Tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. There is nothing bigger than that. So Bhagavan is changing Arjuna's timir drishti by giving him Atma Anatma Viveka. He's giving this Viveka so that Arjuna knows who he is in reality and who everyone else he is, whom he is dealing with this in this war. He says that the real I is Atma, which nobody can destroy, not even Bhagavan. Bhagavan can also not destroy that. And Anatma is the Mithya I, which nobody can stop from destroying, because it's in the realm of time, Kala. It is said, Kalo Jagat Bhakshikaha. Kala, time, Jagat, this world, Bhakshikaha, it eats it up. Time devours the world, So, and Jagat, this belongs to the Jagat. Body, mind, sense complex is a part of the Jagat. So we should not worry about the Jagat. And Bhagavan's telling Arjuna that Bhishma and Drona's reality is not that body which you are so attached to. Their reality you cannot kill. So you do your duty, Arjuna. Yudhyasva Bharata, fight Arjuna. This is Dharma Yuddha. Restore Dharma in the society. As a Kshatriya, you have to do this. You have to fight this war, So in the present shlokas, Bhagavan has been telling Arjuna about Atma Swarupa, so that he realizes who he is. What is Atma? What is my own nature? And through Arjuna, he has told us up till now that Atma is Nityaha, timeless. Atma is Satyaha. That is the only substance, real substance in this world. Everything else is Mithya. Only Atma is Satyam. Atma is Sarvagataha. It is all pervading. Atma is Aprameyaha. Atma is the subject, not any object of this world. Atma is akarta, abhokta. It is neither a doer nor an enjoyer. Atma is nirvikaraha. It is free from all modifications. And not only Atma is not karta, it is also not karyata. It cannot instigate anybody to do any actions. So in these shlokas, this is what Bhagavan has told us. Now further we will read. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani granhati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sayyati navani dehi. So vasamsi. Vasamsi means clothes, coming from the word vastra, vasamsi. Jirnani, old, worn out clothes, coming from the word jara, jirna. Yatha, just as. Vihaya, giving up, discard, how we discard old clothes. Navani, new. Granhati, takes, wears. Naraha, the human being. Aparani, others, other new clothes a person puts on after he discards his old clothes. Tatha, same way. Sharirani, this sharira. Vihaya, giving up. Jirnani, when it becomes old. Anyani, another. Samyati, takes. Navani, new. Dehi, dehi, the indweller of the body. So in this shloka, Bhagavan is telling us all about Maranam and Punarjanam. So through Arjuna, he is telling us what happens to the physical body at the time of death and rebirth, and what happens to the Atma. And he says here, just like we put on different clothes, our dresses, dress is a superficial layer on top of our body, Before we put on the dress, we exist. When we put on the dress, we exist. And when we remove the dress, we continue to exist. So this removal and changing of the dress belongs to the superficial layer called the dress, not the person who is removing and changing. He wants to make you understand this. We have to discriminate this. If you can do this, you get moksha. So this dress and me, this has to be understood, So, and the same person changes the dresses many times. So whenever a living being is born, it means the jiva has come freshly dressed. Right? Just like when we want to change our dress, we go to the dressing room, also called the green room. We go there, we remove this old dress, and we put on a new dress and we come out, And how long do we wear that dress? That depends on the person, And the wardrobe which they have and the obsession with clothes which people have. There are walk-in closets today, Jam-packed with clothes, obsession with clothes, changing clothes all the time. Morning dress, evening dress, night dress. Some of these people, like the celebrities, they never repeat a dress. One dress. And all that fashion show, I don't know whether those dresses, they even look wearable, but those are the dresses, and they're so obsessed with dress. And this, the clothes thing has become such a big problem, especially in developed countries, because there's so much of old clothes have got collected. Here in our country, our maids and all take them. We are enough people to dispose of our clothes too, But there, nobody wants those old clothes. And the clothes have become so because they're going to change. That's all they're doing when they don't have anything to go to a mall and buy clothes, So what they're doing now, because there's so much of this discarded clothes available there, that they just dump them in the landfill now. In these countries they're doing that. And the clothes in that are synthetic, they're not biodegradable. What a damage they're creating to the planet, But they're obsessed. Clothes, khana, clothes, senses. That's all life is about, So the clothes, but in olden days, at least in our country, people had 2 pairs of clothes. You wash and you wear, That is why sannyasi lives a very comfortable life. No problem about this clothes jhamela, A maximum they would look forward to Diwali when they got a new pair of clothes, So Diwali was not just about puja, crackers, sweets. It was about new clothes. Everybody looked forward to new clothes you're going to get. And they really wore those clothes, Only when they were worn out, jirnani, then they were given up, Even we people, when our favorite clothes, we don't discard it so easily. We go on repairing it and wearing it because it's our favorite dress, We like to wear it. So just like people change clothes all the time, Similarly, a jiva changes his sharira. When the sharira becomes old, he is worn out, the sharira is not serving any purpose here anymore, it's done its job, then the sharira is discarded. So, old sharira has to go now. But it's in this shloka, Bhagwan is giving the example of old clothes and old sharira, but the sharira can go any time. Little baby goes, a teenager goes, a youth goes, because mrityu dhavati, mrityu gallops like a horse, and it can just take anyone, anytime, anyone, anytime. That depends on the prarabdha. When the prarabdha is over, sometimes the kid is just born and it goes, So here Bhagwan is giving the example of old clothes and old sharira. And he says, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. Yatha, just as vihaya, one gives up, jirnani vasamsi, old clothes. You have worn your clothes and now it's time to give them up, Navani granhati naraha aparani. New clothes, grahani, takes on. Aparani is other new clothes. The person, naraha, the being, human being. Because the problem is only for the human beings. Animals don't have this problem of clothes, thankfully. Otherwise, standing every day in front of water, what to wear today, what to wear. Only human beings have this biggest problem, what to wear, So animals are free from this problem. Naraha aparani, the human being is talking about. Most of the problems is this human being only, He's coming and spoiling this planet of Bhagwan. He's created beautiful planet, So naraha, the word naraha actually means naraha, that one which never dies. Nariyate iti naraha, that which, because the jiva never dies. The jiva is the reflected consciousness in the body. Body dies, but the jiva never dies. He is naraha. An enlightened person knows this fact, that he is naraha, this has to be known. So naraha, the human being, when his old clothes are worn out, he discards the old clothes and he navani aparani, other new clothes, he granhati, he puts on. Tatha, so same way, sharirani vihaya jirnani, vihaya, this sharirani, this sharira, when it becomes jirna, vihaya, it has to be given up. Because only the sharira will get worn out. The shariri never gets worn out. The sharira is called a sharira only because shirayate iti sharira. This sharira is subject to disintegration, change, wearing out, not the shariri. So the sharira, when it gets worn out, because now it has become old, it's not serving any purpose here, neither to others, neither to myself. In fact, it has become a burden for others at times and for our own selves. We are lugging it all the time. So when it's time, it's better to go, and better to go soon if there's God's grace. That ICU phase one doesn't have to go through with all that life support business, that misery, So when it's old, if we go just like that, then we are blessed, So in the same way, when the Sharira becomes old, the Dehi, Anyani Samyati Navani Dehi, the Dehi, the indweller of the body, Anyani Samyati, he goes and gets another new Sharira. So just like the Naraha, he goes into a green room, changes his clothes and comes out, the Dehi goes into Bhagwan's green room, And Bhagwan's green room is a super store, He's got 84 lakh kind of dresses available there. All monkey, donkey, cockroach, lizard, everything is there. What you have done, the karmas, then that dress he is going to give you. So he enters the green room and Bhagwan is ready with the dress. Aajao, aapke liye dress taiyar hai. So the invisible jiva. The jiva is invisible without the sthul sharira. Only the sthul sharira makes us visible here. That is why everybody is so stuck up on this sthul sharira. The only thing visible is this sthul sharira. They don't know that major part of us is invisible. This world, busy making this fit and living your life for this sharira. This is only the sthul sharira, So the invisible Dehi goes into the green room. Bhagavan gives a sharira, becomes visible, and he comes out. Now he's wearing a new dress. Don't know what he is, cockroach, lizard, whatever he is. Now he come, please welcome to the world again. So here he transacts again in this world, lives this life, goes through the experience of sukha, dukkha, whatever is in his destiny, his prarabdha, and then it gets old again, and then it's time for it to go again. Just like we change clothes, then it's time for the sharira also to be changed. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shainam, iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya pare pahi murare. Adi Shankaracharya ji says in his Bhaj Govindam, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again the same thing, again death, again maranam. Punarapi janani jathare shainam. Go sit down in the jathara, your womb of your mother again, Iha samsare bahudustare. Oh Bhagwan, I am so done with this samsara. Kripya pare pahi murare. Bhagwan Murari, please have kripa on me and get me out from this, And a human being already has kripa. You are a human being because of God's kripa. This is the only chance to get out of this samsara, The ones who are wasting their lives, squandering it away, you have to pity them. You can only have compassion for them, Jantu naam nar janma durlabham. Out of all the jantus, this nar janma is durlabham, so difficult to get. And you are a human being. You have a bright chance to get out of this punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, So this is your chance. So in this shloka, Bhagwan is telling us how he's trying to make this distinction between sharira and the jiva and the dress and the human being. Right? Then we see again. Nainam chindanti shastrani. Nainam dahati pavakaha. Na chainam kledayantyapo. Na shoshayati marutaha. Na enam chindanti shastrani. Enam, this Atma. Na chindanti shastra. The shastra, the weapons, na chindanti, cannot slay the Atma. Nainam, enam, na dahati pavakaha. Pavakaha is the fire, because it's called pavakaha because it is a purifier. The fire is a purifier. So that dahati, it can never burn. Enam, the atma, it cannot burn. Nachainam, kledayanti apaha. The ta and ya becomes ti as per sandhi in this, So na cha enam, cha means and, enam, this atma, apaha, water, na kledayanti, it cannot wet or drown the atma. Na shoshayati marutaha, and air cannot dry or dehydrate the atma. So in this shloka, Bhagwan is telling us how atma is avinashi. Earlier he told us atma is avinashi. Now he is telling us how it is avinashi. So for anything to become vinashi, it is subject to some laws of creation here, And one of the laws is that an object is subject to destruction only when it is subject to objectification. It has to be visible for destruction. Invisible object cannot get destroyed. So this is one of the laws, that it has to be visible. Then any object cannot destroy anything else which is subtler than itself or belonging to another order of reality. Like a person can kill another person, but a reflection or a shadow cannot kill the person because that belongs to another order of reality. Or the dream elephant or the dream tiger cannot attack a waking person because these two are different orders of reality. Right? Then the object which can be destroyed is vinashi only if it has some structure. It must have some attributes. The reality is attribute-less. Atma doesn't have attributes. If Atma had a heart, it could have had a heart attack, But Atma, the heart is beating because of the Atma, and I am aware of the beating heart because I am the Atma. So Bhagwan here says that not only the objects of this world which are made up of Panch Mahabhutas, they cannot destroy the Atma, even the Panch Mahabhutas cannot destroy because Atma is the subtlest. Then is the Panch Mahabhutas and then the objects of the world. So we can be destroyed by Panch Mahabhutas because we are grosser than the Panch Mahabhutas. Panch Mahabhutas are subtler than us. Anything subtle cannot destroy anything which is grosser. So the four Panch Mahabhutas can destroy us, except for space. Air can, fire can, water can, earth can. When they take up a fierce form, Raudra Rupa, we are gone. So, but we cannot destroy the Panch Mahabhutas. So here he is telling how Panch Mahabhutas also cannot destroy the Atma. And the first line which he says, Nachindanti Shastrani. Shastra means weapons. Weapons are made of metal, and metal comes from Prithvi Tattva, a Mahabhuta, So here he is talking, when he talks about Shastra, he is talking that Prithvi cannot slay the Atma, that Prithvi Mahabhut cannot touch the Atma, it has no access over there. So the Shastra are of two kinds, Astra and Shastra, right? Astra are those which are released from the hand, like rocks and bullet and arrows, and Shastra, which we hold in the hand, like sword and gada and all those, So here when he is talking about Shastrani, he implies both. Astra cannot touch the Atma, the Shastra cannot touch the Atma. So both of them cannot touch the Atma. What Atma? They cannot even destroy the space. Space is also all pervading. It is also very subtle, but that is in reference to the world. So the space, we can't take a Shastra and we can't cut up the space here. We can't shoot it. We can't bomb it. Space is untouched, So if space is untouched, then what to talk about Atma? Atma is so subtle, it is the subtlest, So this cannot, the Shastrani, they cannot touch the Atma. For them to, the space not only cannot be, you cannot destroy the space cannot even be polluted. The space is never polluted. The atmosphere is polluted because atmosphere has a structure. Atmosphere has atoms and atoms have structure. And the structure is subject to change. You can change the structure of anything. Atma is attributeless, it has no structure. That is why when you hydrogen atom and oxygen atom are brought together under certain conditions, water gets created. That structure is subject to change. It can be changed. One base metal can be changed into another metal if you change the atomic weight of the metal. That is how a base metal can be turned into gold. Though it's not economically feasible to do that, but it is possible to do it by changing the atomic weight. It's a structure which can be changed. The process is called alchemy. There's a very famous book called Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Yeah, so he talks about this, about the base metal being changed into gold, and philosophically it means changing or transforming a person into a higher spiritual state. So when the space only cannot be touched, it has no structure, then Atma is out of question. So Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. Then Nainam Dahati Pavakaha. Pavakaha, the fire, cannot dahan or is only of the body. Cremation, dahan. It happens of the body, not the Atma. And dahan doesn't even happen of the Sukshma Sharira. Right? Sukshma Sharira, the fire cannot touch. Actually, the death is only because Sukshma Sharira has left the body. So, Sukshma Sharira is not the only physical body fire can destroy, not the Atma. So, that also, the Pavakaha cannot touch the Atma. This is the second Mahabhut he is talking about, the fire cannot touch. Na cha enam kledayanti apaha. So the water, apaha, cannot drown the Atma, leave alone wet the Atma also. Atma is not ever wet also, leave alone to be drowned. The body can be drowned, the body can become wet. So Bhagavan is making this distinction for us to understand very clearly between Atma and Anatma. This is, going on repeating this. Many times the people go through the entire Gita and jaise the waise hi hain, change didn't happen here. That's why he is going on repeating Atma, Anatma, Anatma, Atma, body, Dehi. Understand, have you understood? In your body can you do this separation and realize who you are? So the water cannot touch the Atma also. Na shoshayati marutaha. Marutaha is the air, and generally Marutaha word is used for the dry air of the tropical regions, which can dehydrate very easily. It's very powerful. Of course, all those tornadoes and storms, they can blow us away, This air can dehydrate us. See how people get dehydrated so soon. Even here, heat stroke, bahar nikle to heat stroke, So that is why Hanumanji is called Maruti, so powerful, Vayuputraha. And our Maruti car came after him, When Maruti 800 was launched, I still remember so clearly, in 80s it was launched, and I was in a town called Sri Ganganagar, one weird town, So there, people would actually stop, because before that there were only two cars, Ambassadors and Fiat. Then came this Maruti. And if a woman is driving that, they would actually stop there and they gape, it pajdi hai, means it's so fast, this car is so fast. And then if a lady is driving, so she has dropped from the Mars only, So there's something those people didn't see. Actually, when I came to Sikandrabad, I thought, oh my God, thank God, these, those people who always gaping at you that, you can drive a car. So that was a lot there, So, and now today, Maruti 800, if somebody has, poor thing, they have only Maruti 800. So, anyway, so here, Bhagavan is saying these four Mahabhutas, space of course is left out because space is so close to Atma. So you're not talking about space. He's talking about these four which can destroy the Anatma. Know that this Anatma can be destroyed by the four Mahabhutas, but not the Atma. Then Achedyoyam dahyoyam Akledyo shoshya evacha Nitya sarvagata sthanuhu Achaloyam sanatanaha. That R behind sthanu actually means visarga, so you can pronounce it as sthanuhu or you can say sthanur while pronouncing, but it actually means the visarga as per Sandhi. So achedyo ayam, this Atma is achedyaha, it cannot be slain. Adahayah, it cannot be burnt. Akledyaha, it cannot be drowned. Ashoshyaha, it cannot be dehydrated. Nityaha, timeless. Sarvagataha, all pervading. Sthanu, stationary, steady. Achalaha, he is using ayam again here. Ayam, achalaha, ayam. Achalaha means immovable. Ayam, this Atma. Also he says sanatanaha. Sanatana means it's ancient, but it's ever fresh. There's no change which has happened, though it is ancient. So here Bhagavan first he repeats those four features which he has said earlier, and then he tells the new features which he adds in the shloka is Thanuhu, Achalaha and Sanatanaha. These three features he adds here. So in these shlokas, Bhagavan has been using the word ayam and enam for Atma. Enam. So this means the self-evident and self-existent Atma. That I am, for me to be I am, I don't need any means of knowledge. Now, Atma is invisible, but it is not non-existent or shunya. What is shunya? Shunya means zero, nothing. Buddhism says Atma is shunya, because they believe that I'm not this body, I'm not the senses, I'm not the mind. So I'm not all that I took myself to be, so then I'm shunya. So it seems when Buddha got enlightened, a lot of people were asking him this question, who am I, who am I, So he explained that by the process of negation, neti neti, I'm not the body, I'm not the senses, I'm not the mind. But when he came to the Atma, he just kept maunam, silence. Maybe he wanted everybody to find out for themselves. You do this, you meditate and negate this and come to yourself. But his silence was interpreted in different ways, and one of the interpretation is Atma is shunya. They say that, So shunyata is also an experience. It is an abhasa of everything which I took myself to be, which I am not. I am not all that I thought I was. That is an abhasa. And Atma is the light of consciousness by which I am aware of that shunyata. Right? Just like the light on the stage, it illumines the stage when all the actors are performing on the stage, and when they leave the stage, the light continues to perform when leave the stage, it continues to illumine the empty stage, which is now shunya, So the light is illumining. So I am the light of consciousness, I'm not shunya. So that is why these other philosophies we can't relate to, I don't know what they are talking about. Vedanta is saying something very different. How can I know that shunyata? So that I am, now then we come down to this I am. I am. Do we need our senses to know I am? Can I hear myself? Can I see myself? Can I taste myself? No, I don't need the senses to know that I am. Isn't it? This has to be understood. I also don't need the 5 means of knowledge which are called pramanas. We saw that in Tattva Bodha. What are they? They are perception, inference, comparison, presumption and absence of an object, which in the Shastras is called Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana, Upmana, Arthapatti and Anupalabdhi. These are the 5 means of knowledge by which I know the world. And Pratyaksha Pramana, we use our 5 senses. Pratyaksha, direct experience by Pratyaksha Pramana. I see from my eyes, that's Pratyaksha. I see it myself, I am the witness of that. Directly I know that, So for me to know I am, I don't need any means of knowledge, For any other object of this world, for it to prove its existence, one of the pramanas has to be employed. Otherwise, it cannot prove its existence without the means of knowledge. Even to know this body of ours, that it has, if I am perceiving the body and the body has changed since yesterday, it's changing all the time, Or even to know that I have a stomach ache, headache, backache, these aches and pains I can't show to others. It cannot be verified by the doctors also. I just say I have an ache. How can the doctor verify that? I have an ache and pain. That's why these aches and pains come handy in applying for leave. I have an ache. How do you prove it? I have a headache. I'm having it, The doctor can't say, no, you're not having. No, I'm having. This is my perception. I'm the witness of that ache, So this I know, I use the mind to know that, Only I can know this about myself. And there is a direct perception called Sakshi Pratyaksha, by which I know my mind. The world is Indriya Pratyaksha. I know this world through my Indriyas, and my mind is Sakshi Pratyaksha. Directly by the consciousness I am knowing my mind. So this I am Bhagavan is talking about, which is Swata Siddhaha, self-evident. I don't need anything, I don't need any help here for me to know that I am. It's one has to put your attention in that. I exist, I don't need anything that. Because I am, I infer. Because I am, I see. Because I am, I hear. I exist first. I am Atma. This is the Atma Bhagavan is talking about. So this Atma, Achedyaha, it cannot be slain. Adahayaha, it cannot be burnt. Akledyaha, it cannot be drowned. Ashoshyaha, it cannot be dehydrated. So in the first sentence, Bhagavan has repeated the features which he said in the previous shloka. And because of these features, I am Nityaha. Because of all this, because the Atma cannot be touched by all this, so I am Nityaha. I am immortal. The essence is, I don't have to become immortal, I am immortal. I have to know this. It is my nature to become immortal. So there are the 3, because I am immortal, nobody wants to die actually. Everyone wants to live a little more. A great grandchild dekh lena jara, tab uske baad chale jayenge. No one wants to go. Even ICU mein bhi ho lada hua abhi. Oh, that one, my son, my daughter and all that, So this is because we have 3 basic desires in us called Jijivisha, Jigyasa and Bhubutsa. These are the basic fundamental desires in a human being. Jijivisha is the desire to live, Jigyasa is the desire to know, and Bhubutsa is the desire to become happy. From these three desires, all the other desires are born, and those desires can be categorized again into three categories, which are called Vitteshna, Putreshna, Lokeshna. Vitteshna is desire for money and everything money can buy. Putreshna is the desire for progeny and for all the relationships. Lokeshna is the desire for all kind of experiences, the lokas here. These are the main desires, and everybody is running around here with those desires in their head. The different things people are doing here are because of different desires they are entertaining in their mind. That is why mumukshutvam is the highest desire. If somebody gets that desire, that person is blessed. So jijivisha is the desire to live a little more, or sometimes endlessly people want to live. And because most of the people don't know their own true nature as immortal, they want to become immortal by keeping their name alive. You know, like through children and grandchildren. The people see themselves in their children and grandchildren, and also the surname which is carrying on. So they have a sense of immortality, a feeling that I'll be kept alive by these people. I'm not totally gone. There's a part of me which is here, So there is a sense, that is the reason I feel that. Because they don't know they are immortal, these are the ways. Or they'll take pictures and they'll hang it all over, so that at least people will see my picture and remember me. Or they will start these institutions and organizations in their name, so that the name can carry on. They are holding on to the name for immortality. So foolish. Or they'll give charity and have the name. Give a bench, write your name on it. So you're donating, so write your name on it. So are you giving for your name, or are you giving for charity? Mostly it is the name. Everything has names. You go to the temple, all the tiles have names there. Even fans and lights have names. So they will write their name. It is for that name's sake they are giving. Or otherwise they'll keep talking, I gave, I did this, I gave so much money, 10 rupiya diya, I gave. So charity, very, very few people want to give charity and not make the name public, But it is about the name. So there is an innermost urge in all human being to live on, We can accept the mortality of everything here, but to accept I am mortal is very difficult. And it is difficult because actually we are immortal. That is the reason we are not able to accept this. If we were actually mortal, we would have been able to accept this, But this is the reason, because we are immortal, that is why this desire is there. We are not able to accept this, So this desire of jijivisha ends only when I come to know I am Sat, existence itself. Then the desire of this ends. Then jigyasa. Jigyasa is the desire to know. See how this desire is driving everybody, from the morning newspaper to the cell phone to the laptop, the computer, to the degrees one is getting, even gossip. It's all you want to know, So this is the desire in all of us. And this desire ends when we know I am Chit, I am consciousness itself, I am knowledge. Then this desire is going to subside. Otherwise this is what everybody is doing because of this basic desire. And bhubutsa is the desire to become happy. Everyone is doing everything here because they want to become happy, not knowing that their nature is happiness. And how do we know that our nature is happiness? Because we are only comfortable with our own nature, and we are only comfortable being happy. Have you ever seen anybody complain, oh, I don't know, I'm so worried, why am I so happy nowadays? Morning I'm happy, afternoon I'm happy, evening I'm happy. I'm getting really worried, I'm so happy nowadays. कोई बोलता है no, it is so comfortable, I'm so comfortable being happy. Only this unhappiness we want to get rid of, don't want to be unhappy. So the basic law is anything which is natural I'm comfortable with. Whatever is unnatural we reject. Mortality is unnatural to me. Immortality is natural to me. Even our own body rejects everything unnatural. Anything unnatural gets in our eyes, tears start flowing till it throws it out. Something gets into our nose, we'll start sneezing till we throw it out. If we ingest anything unnatural, we'll start vomiting it out. That is why organ transplant is so difficult. The body rejects a foreign intruder. It doesn't accept it for easily. First, the immune system has to be suppressed there, But when a lady becomes pregnant with her child, the entire system cooperates because that's natural. That's my part, it's my own body. So, this mortality we are not able to accept because we are immortal. We are nityaha. Bhubutsa ends by knowing I am Ananda. Jigyasa ends by knowing I am Chit. Jijivasha ends by knowing I am Sat. I am Sat, Chit, Ananda, which is nityaha. I am immortal. What a relief to know that. All the struggles stop when you come to know this. That's the reason why an enlightened person is sitting so comfortably with himself while others are spinning around. Tell people to sit down for a little while or just be by yourself. How come this enlightened person sitting? Because of this one factor he knows. I am Nitya. So then Bhagavan says, I am Sarvagataha. I am all pervading. I am not bound by space. I am not bound by time. I transcend space and time. Space is also all-pervading, but that is in reference to the world, because in deep sleep there is no space. Only in the world there is space. We go into ourselves in deep sleep. I am the cause of time and space. So I am Sarvagataha, and because I am Sarvagata, Sarva means I am everywhere. So I am Sthanu, I am stationary and stable. Because I can only move where I am not. I'm everywhere. Where do I move? I cannot move. So I am Sthanu. So then one would think maybe then I'm like a tree. This tree is Sthanu, but it sways. Bhagavan says, no, you're not like a tree. You are Achalaha. You cannot move. Tree is limited, it has a form. Atma is limitless and formless. It cannot move. So I am Nityaha, I am Sarvagataha, I am Sthanu and Achalaha. Then Bhagavan says, I am Sanatanaha. I am ancient, but I am ever fresh. There's no growth happening, no decay happening. Previously, what were the words used? Shashvataha and Puranaha. Shashvata is Apakshiye Rahita, Purana is Vriddhi Rahita. So I am Rahita from all modifications. I am Sanatanaha. I am as fresh as I was, always. There's no change in Atma. That is why Hinduism is known as Sanatana Dharma. Yeah. The entire Hinduism talks about only two topics, Dharma and Brahma, Brahman. So the Ved Purva talks about Dharma and Vedanta talks about Brahman. That part of the Veda which talks about Dharma is known as religion, and that part which talks about Brahman is known as philosophy. Religion and philosophy together make Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism, what it is. Swami Vivekananda ji had said, religion without philosophy is superstition. Philosophy without religion is idealism. If you don't know this philosophy and you are performing this religious stuff, it is all superstition. You don't know what you're doing. You're only doing it because others do it, or you're doing it because your unpad parents and grandparents, they also didn't know anything. So you're doing just because they did it, and your mind is now conditioned so badly that you'll continue doing it, It is superstition. And philosophy will become idealism if it's not lived. This has to be lived. It's not some idea in the head, You have day to day, you have to live this life. So dharma, religion, and Brahman, philosophy, together make Hinduism what it is. And dharma means values, righteous living. That's what is dharma. So the righteous values like ahimsa, satyam, they were there at Adi Shankaracharyaji's time, and they are there today also. It's not that that time what was there today it's changed. No, dharma is sanatanaha. It is always there. It was whatever was there earlier is what is there today. The law is that I don't want anybody to hurt me, so I must not hurt anyone. That is ahimsa. I don't want anyone to tell me the untruth, so I must tell the truth to everyone. That is satyam. So all the values, I have to, how do I know what are the values? What I don't want others to do to me is what I have to do to others. For others it's okay, but when it comes to you, everything is forgotten, No, that is dharma, and dharma is sanatanaha. It is always the same. From the beginning till today, dharma is same. And same thing for Brahman. It's not that Brahman was huge at Adi Shankaracharyaji's time and today it has shrunk. No, Atma is sanatanaha. So Brahman is sanatanaha, dharma is sanatanaha. And Hinduism is sanatana dharma because Hinduism teaches the dharma, the changeless values of life, and it teaches the changeless truth of life, which is the philosophy of life, which never changes. It is sanatana. That is why we are studying Bhagavad Gita even today. Such an old scripture, Whereas when it comes to physics and chemistry, today what is being taught, parents are having a tough time teaching it to their children because what they had studied is all changed. You're not able to cope up with that. What the children are studying. Because science changes from time to time, theories are revised, they're discarded, medicines are discarded, new medicines are coming in, new theories are, but this knowledge is sanatanaha. That is why Vedas can never become obsolete. Actually, what cannot become obsolete is what is called a scripture. It is valid in every period of time. It is sanatanaha. So, Atma is sanatanaha. Once I know all this about Atma and I know that I am the Atma, where is the question of entertaining grief? Why would anybody be sorrowful after that? So you don't need to cry for Atma because Atma is Nityaha, Sarvagataha, Sthanu, Achala, Sanatana. So there's no need to cry for Atma. And it's foolish to cry for Anatma because Anatma, Bhagavan is saying no, it is Anitya. It will not stop. It's just going to going, growing, going, graying, going. It's going. Every moment it's going. Every moment we are one breath less in our prarabdha account. It's going. How can you stop it? The best scientists, even if they put in their best minds and all the effort, they cannot stop Anatma from going. No way. Atma will never go, and Anatma nobody can stop from going. So why the grief? Agyanis only grieve, Jnani never grieves. Grief is a sign of Agyana. If somebody is grieving, he is Agyani. So when we say that Jnani never grieves, it doesn't mean Jnani is like indifferent and like a rock and doesn't grieve. No, Jnani is the most compassionate person because he can see that all this grieving is because of Agyana. If this Agyana is removed, then nobody needs to grieve. They don't know why they're grieving, Agyani lives for the well-being of others. He wants to share this knowledge. Let everybody be happy. Loka sangraha. Jnani knows I am not this petty, dukhi individual. This individual always dukhi. He is the world. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham na alpe sukham asti. In the alpe, in the limited, there's no sukham. No matter what you ask any person, how are you? Yeah, everything's fine, but there will be a but, something will crop up. It's limited. There cannot be any sukham. Sukham is when you are bhumat. You are the king of this kingdom which has no boundaries. You are Brahman. You are Nitya, Sarvagataha, Sthanu, Achalaha and Sanatanaha. So this is what Bhagavan said here. We will stop now. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.